Hi, today I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated new releases that are coming out in our year 2023. I have some books, some movies, and some shows that I'm going to go over. There's going to be about 4 to 5 in each category, and I'm going to list them and talk about them in order of release date as best I can. Some of them have really ambiguous release dates, so it's kind of hard, but that's the general idea. So let's just get into it. All right, I'm going to start with books. The first book I have is The Remarkable Retirement of Edna Fisher by E.M. Anderson. The release date of this one is April 21st. This one sounds really cool to me because the main character is going to be an 83-year-old woman who is the chosen one. It sounds like it's just gonna have really fun subject matter. Like, it's kind of your typical, chosen one fantasy, but the fact that it's an 83-year-old senior woman is like so cool and different that I'm really excited about it. Sounds like she's just gonna have to defeat an evil sorcerer. That's like the main external plot. But it also sounds like it's going to be tackling some more complex topics. For example, loss of a child, systemic abuse in the ranks of the good guys, and who is really the bad guy. So it sounds like it's gonna have some more nuanced topics mixed in with the kind of standard fantasy tropes. So I'm really excited. It sounds really cool, really different, and I can't wait to read this one. The next one is Witch King by Martha Wells. The release date for this one is May 30th. I am currently reading The Murderbot Diaries, also by Martha Wells. I'm only in the first one. I'm still reading All Systems Red, but already I am loving her authorial voice. So I'm hopeful that this one is going to be just as good. I have heard great things about her as an author. I've heard great things about her other fantasy books. So again, I'm very hopeful for it. This story is going to be about a demon named Kai who awakens after years of being dormant. Apparently, there's going to be some questions that have to be answered, and he's going to have to acclimate to the modern world. And I don't know what modern means in this setting, but still, there's going to be like some sort of time jump between when he first slumbered and when he's awoken. So there's going to have to be, again, some acclimation, which I think could be kind of fun. And personally, a trope I like in fantasy is when there's like an immortal kind of entity brought into the mix, brought into the plot somehow. Bonus points if it's a POV character. So sounds like that's going to be the case for this one, and I'm very excited. Next is The Water Outlaws by S.L. Huang. The release date for this one is going to be August 22nd. And in this one, our protagonist, named Lynn, is disgraced, and she's on the run. So already I'm loving the conflict here. And she joins up with a band of outlaws who might be taking down the government at some point. I don't know. When I was reading the little plot blurb, it said they have the potential to take down the government or something like that. It didn't say that was where the plot was heading. So it could be one of those types of plots. It could not be. I'm not sure. But either way, it just sounds like a cool subject matter, and I'm excited. The next one is The Odds by Lindsay Puckett, who is an author tuber. The release date for this one is September 19th. It's a middle grade book, and it sounds like it's going to be kind of a spooky, Halloween-y type of read. I love middle grade Halloween-y books. Sounds like there's going to be a haunted house. There's going to be magic, a whole host of grandparents, and disability representation. So all of that sounds like it's going to be a good read. The next one is Silverborn, The Mystery of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. The release date for this one is going to be October 10th. This is also a middle grade book. It is book 4 in the Nevermore series. Personally, I am only up through book 2. I just finished it. I'm on to book 3 now. So I'm not even caught up yet. But by the time this releases, I think I will be, because they go pretty fast because they are middle grade books. So they're pretty quick reads. So regardless, I am excited for this coming out because I'm ready to read more Nevermore. I don't want it to end ever. It's so cute. It's a very fun, very whimsical. So it's a really fun time. If you have never heard of Nevermore, never read it, it is about a little girl named Morrigan Crow who believes she is cursed up until her, 12th birthday? 11th? I'm going to have to look that up and I'll correct myself here. Until a magical man named Jupiter North comes and whisks her away from her horrible life, Harry Potter style, into a new world called Nevermore, where there is magic, there are giant cats, there is a living city with some tricksy little streets, and it's a very fun kind of second world magical book series, and they're very, very good. When I was looking up this book, I didn't find a lot of info about it, but from what I did find, there's a quote I pulled from the little blurb so far. It says, "We will travel to places in Nevermore that we've never seen. We'll meet people from Oregon's past who will be very important in untangling the mystery of who she is." So sounds like there's just going to be a good expansion of the story, good expansion of the universe, good expansion of some questions we've had. So overall, I am very excited for this one. I guess as I am for all of these. What am I even saying? What I love about all these books that I put together, these 5 books, is that they all have female protagonists, which is like, yes, great. We love to see it. That's my favorite. And all of them, with the exception of Silverborn, are standalones. So you don't have to do any prior reading. You can just go into these blind. Again, we love to see it. Well, that's all for books. Let's move on to shows. The first show I want to talk about is Jujutsu Kaisen. And what I'm anticipating is season 2, which is expected to come out in July of 2023. No specific date yet, but I keep saying July, so I'm going with that. The first season of this anime had great animation. It just looked really good, especially all of the fight animation, which is a big part of this show. It also has really great voice acting, and I watched the dub of this show. Don't come for me. And the English voice acting is very, very good. The story for this is pretty dark. It's about a kid who eats a finger, and subsequently a demon inhabits his body. So because of that, he has to join a school of jujutsu sorcerers, and those are demon hunting mages. So it's a very cool story, very cool concept. I love it. The story is pretty fast paced. It's got a lot of like I said, fights and battle scenes, so it pulls you in. So there's only one season. Like I said, it's season 2 that's coming out, so you have plenty of time to catch up if you're interested in this one. The next one is, you guessed it, Attack on Titan, the final part. The release date of this one is said to be in fall of 2023. So again, no specific date. We're just being told that it's going to be in the fall sometime. It's a lot of time, but I would still take that over I mean, what can I say about this one? You all know, if you know Attack on Titan at all, you know why I'm excited for this. It is the conclusion to the story. I have not read the manga, and I'm not going to before the final part, so I'm just waiting to experience it until that comes out. I don't want to say a lot about Attack on Titan because of spoilers, which should be avoided at all costs if you are at all interested in this story. On the off chance you've never heard of Attack on Titan, off chance at this point, but still, in the simplest of terms, it is about a boy who dedicates his life to fighting man-eating monsters called Titans, who are threatening his home and cause a tragedy in his life. It's an incredibly complex story, and like I said, that's in the simplest of terms what it's about, but it's just the best. There is not a bad character in it, and it's a super engaging plot, and I cannot wait for the finale. The next show is season 2 of Invincible. So the release date for Invincible is late 2023. That's, again, all we've gotten. I don't think any of these shows have a specific release date, but I'm anticipating them nonetheless. So yeah, we've been told this one's going to release in late 2023. That's all I can give you. Invincible season 1 was a great show. Besides Arcane, which was also great, Invincible was possibly my favorite show I watched in 2021. There was still so much story left to explore by the end of season 1 that I have been waiting for news of season 2 ever since. I have not rested. I have not eaten. I'm just kidding. Of course I have. But still, I've been highly anticipating this one, especially since we haven't gotten a lot of news about it. Invincible is a great subversion and exploration of the superhero genre. It's got great characters. It's got an intriguing plot that unfolds, and it is all told through the POV of a main character, Mark, who is learning the hard way about the harsh world of superheroes that he is becoming a part of. I would highly recommend Invincible. And again, you've got plenty of time to catch up and watch season 2 when it releases. The next show is Pluto. I believe this one is a show. I don't think it's a movie. I'm pretty sure it's a show, but I've kind of had trouble finding information on this one. So yeah, the release date for this one is like super unspecific. It's just 2023. So we'll see. But there is like a little teaser out for it already. So they're clearly working on it. Just no release date yet. So Pluto is based on a manga series by Naoki Urasawa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'll put the text of the name up as well. So the manga series itself is based on a specific story arc from Astro Boy by Osamu Tezuka. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'll put the text up of the name as well. The story arc it's based on is called The Greatest Robot on Earth. So it looks like this one is going to have a pretty interesting style. It's neo-noir. I've seen it described as a darker, grittier Astro Boy. It looks like it's going to be futuristic. There's going to be robots. There's going to be a murder mystery. So I think the little bits of the story I've seen with the addition of the interesting animation and style makes me very interested. Okay, the last show I want to talk about is a new anime called Solo Leveling. Again, the release date for this one is super unspecific. I've just seen that it's supposed to release sometime in 2023, and even that's been rumored to maybe not even be correct. It might be pushed back to 2024, but again, it's just rumors, so I'm still including it here. So Solo Leveling was originally a web novel, but I recently saw a teaser for the anime, so that's what I'm anticipating. The teaser made it look really cool. So apparently it is about people who hunt monsters, and there is going to be, as the title suggests, leveling up kind of storylines and mechanics. I don't know a lot about it, but the teaser made it look really cool, and also people seem to be very excited for it. So I got caught up in the excitement. So the music for it is going to be by Hiroyuki Sawano. He is the composer for, well, one of the composers for Attack on Titan, and he is my favorite composer. I absolutely love his music. That's going to be a draw for me no matter what. So yes, all in all, I'm pretty optimistic about this one, even though I know barely anything about it, and I've never like seen or read the source material. I'm excited. Everything in this group has been animated, just kind of how it all shook out. These are the things I'm anticipating the most. I don't know. I also wanted to make this all kind of sci-fi and fantasy skewed, so that affected things as well. There's not a lot of live action fantasy things that are coming out that I'm personally anticipating. So I found the things that I am, and they all just happen to be animated. Okay, now let's move on to the movies that I am anticipating. The first one is Suzume, and this is going to have a release date of April 14th, and that's the streaming release date. I guess it's already been released theatrically, but it still has yet to release on streaming, which is where I will be watching it. I have seen a trailer for this one, and it looks beautiful. It's another animated one, and it just looks like it's going to have just some gorgeous animation. I believe it's connected with this director's previous films, Your Name and Weathering with You, which I have not seen, but I really want to now that I've heard more about them after watching the trailer for this movie. Although this one is still a standalone, so you don't necessarily have to watch those other two movies from what I understand. There's just two others that are kind of in the same style, and they're connected in some way. They're not necessary viewing before this one, as far as I can tell. So this movie is about a girl who discovers a door in the mountains. Then other doors begin appearing across Japan, releasing destruction and disasters. So Suzume, the main character, has to close all these doors to save Japan. And it's a whole process, it looks like. So I'm intrigued by the plot of this one. Looks like it's going to be kind of an urbanish fantasy. Looks really cool. The next movie is Seven Kings Must Die. This one is also going to be releasing on April 14th. So this movie is actually the finale to the Last Kingdom TV show. So this one is not going to be a standalone. You are required to well, you're not required to do anything, but it is highly recommended that you watch The Last Kingdom or have already seen it before you watch this one. So it sounds like this movie is just going to kind of be a big battle, or that's going to be a big part of it at least. And it's just continuing on in the series goal of uniting England under one kingdom. And it is going to cover the conclusion of the book series. So this is actually the real ending to the series. Just like everything else that is like a season 2 or a sequel of some kind, I would highly recommend watching the show that precedes this. The Last Kingdom is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It is a historical fiction series based on the Saxon Stories by Bernard Cornwell, which is a book series. And it follows the journey of the main character, Uhtred, who is English. He grows up, well, he's born in English, a little English boy. Then a freaking Hamlet situation happens, and his uncle takes over his home of Bebbanburg, and he then subsequently gets abducted by Danes, and he grows up with them, and then he kind of identifies as Danish. And then somehow, I kind of forget how this happened, because I've watched each season as they released, so like, I don't remember the little finer points of the story, but somehow he comes back around and fights for England again. He's an interesting character, that's for sure. But anyways, like I said, the story follows him, and his ultimate goal is to retake his home from his uncle, who usurped it. This is all against a backdrop of monarchs, English monarchs, trying to unite the kingdoms of England into one kingdom. And throughout the series, England and the Saxons are under attack by Danes. You can binge it to get caught up by the time the movie comes out, but it's a good show regardless, and I would recommend it. But yes, I am very excited for the movie to come out. Very excited. The next movie is Black Clover, Sword of the Wizard King. This has a release date of June 16th. It's going to be available on Netflix, it looks like, which is different because usually anime releases come out on Crunchyroll or something like that, but this one's going to be on Netflix, it looks like. And it is, of course, a story set in the same world as the Black Clover anime. And it sounds like it is going to be an anime original. It's not canon, so it's not based on the manga at all. I have been absolutely loving Black Clover, and I am watching the anime. I haven't read the manga, so since the anime has not come back in a while, and I think we don't know when it's going to come back, I have needed more. So I absolutely cannot wait for this one. It looks like the animation is going to be great. It seems like movies always get a little better animation treatment than TV shows do, so I think it's going to be really good. And the final movie I am anticipating for this year is Dune Part 2. This one has a release date of November 3rd. I really, really liked the first part of Dune. I've never read the book. I've only seen that last movie that came out. I've been ready for this one ever since I saw Dune Part 1. The visuals in the first movie were incredible. They were so good. I loved the directing style of it. It was all shot so dramatically, and I am ready for more of that, honestly. I will say I'm not super in love with any of the characters of this story, but like the story overall, the plot, and also again the visuals have been so engaging and stunning that I'm just ready for more of it. So I'm glad that it's going to be coming out this year. Almost everything here in the movie section, and also honestly in the show section, have been sequels of some kind. So I'm sorry about that. I didn't really plan for that, but when I was looking through all the new releases trying to find things, I wasn't finding a lot that I liked, but I was finding things that were going to be conclusions or continuations of things that I already liked. So I just wanted to include them here because that's honestly what I'm anticipating as new releases for this year. So, as I've said before, I think I said like when I was talking about each new release, I highly recommend the previous installments of all these things I'm anticipating. They're some of my favorite stories, but I am very excited for everything. If you have any anticipated releases in 2023, let me know. I always like to make my lists of stuff to watch and read longer so that I can be even more excited. So anyways, that is all for me. Until next time, just have a really good day. Farewell.